Once a cop, let it knock, yeah. For one thing, we should celebrate redemption instead of condemning it.
Welcome to Corey's Corner. Did you hear about the case of 69-year-old Tracey Nix, grandmother in Florida, who was watching her 7-month-old grandchild, went to hang out with some friends, and left the child in the car when she got home. For several hours, she left it in the car until one of her grandsons came home and was like, "Hey, Grandma, where's Uriel?" Oh, she ran out to the car. The child was dead. It was 90 degrees, so it was probably 100-something in the vehicle. Got the paramedics there. Make a long story short, the child was dead. But that's not the kicker on this is the second grandchild from the same daughter who let her watch the child, and the child ended up dead. Back in 2019, she was watching her grandson, 16-month-old Uriel. Watching him. They're at the house. She decided to go to sleep, supposedly went to sleep. The 16-month-old child, some kind of way, gets out of the house, crawls or walks into a pond that's by the house, ends up drowning and died. She wakes up, goes to look for the child. The child is in the pond, dead, floating. Now, they do a preliminary investigation or a detailed investigation. No harm, no foul. She wasn't arrested for negligence or anything. And now it's 2022. Another child in the custody of her grandmother dies. Another piece to this story is that's the first time that the daughter let the grandmother watch the child.
Where is your mindset at this moment?
I think overwhelmed would be probably the very best word I would have. And no matter where this goes, this is not going to be a win for me. This is a lose, lose, lose for me.
2 of Kayla's children died under her mother Tracey's care.
And they were taken by somebody that we believed was worthy of trust.
We first met with Kayla and her now husband Drew in the spring of 2023, 3 months after Uriel's death.
A little girl. How do you forget a little girl?
What does justice look like?
A real ownership of what has happened. I want ownership of the incidences that occurred. I don't think I've ever asserted that there was a malicious intent. I don't think I've ever asserted that anyone set out to create this situation, but it did happen.
Do you want your mother to spend any time in prison?
The mother in me, as I've said before, requires justice for my kid. The mother in me requires justice for my daughter. But there's a 5-year-old that lives in me still that doesn't want bad things for my mom. I don't want it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want any more hurt.
From the first mishap, she didn't even want her watching the child. But she went to get her hair done. And she was like, "Mommy, can you watch Uriel while I go get my hair done?" As a matter of fact, as many of you know, I'm a legal analyst, guest legal analyst, sometime on Court TV. This case is being heavily covered by Court TV. As a matter of fact, I was on yesterday. Here's a question that the lovely Julie Grant asked me about this case.
Corey, wouldn't you also think that perhaps there might be some hypervigilance going on? If someone had that on their conscience, that their grandbaby died on their watch, you would think everything they would do, especially conduct pertaining to their other grandkids, would be so hyper-focused and so careful.
Absolutely. But on the other side of that, Julie, I'm trying to see if the defense is going to bring in an expert to say that, like, the onslaught of dementia, something to say. It has to be something. They have to be coming with something, because there's no way in the world that we can have this, like you said, double jeopardy, lightning striking twice.
You read my mind. Is there truly forgetfulness caused by some kind of medical issue? Corey, I think you said something we've all been wondering about, and we thank you for that, because what might cause this, extreme lack of attentiveness? And her own attorney even acknowledged that it was negligent. To what degree remains to be seen.
Now, as you can see, my point there is trying to say there got to be some dementia or on set of dementias. There's something got to be wrong, because there's no way in the world you could go out with your friends, eat, have lunch, everything, come home, leave the child in the car, go inside the house, start playing the piano. This is what she said. She was playing the piano. She was doing things in the house until her grandson came home. I'm not buying it. I know if that was my child, I'm killing my mother or mother-in-law, whoever was watching the second child. The first one, I'm going to be totally upset, and I probably wouldn't even be able to recover from it. But if it's an accident. But the second one, we're moving furniture. I promise you, Nana got to go. There's no way. And the daughter in this case, which actually is the mother of the two children, she was asked a question about, are you conflicted? How do you feel about this? And her natural reaction was she wants justice for her children, but she doesn't want to see her mother go to jail. Well, that's all nice and dandy. But for me, either she going to jail or she going to hell, or both, because there's no way in the world I'm buying that she forgot the child. A whole child was in the car. Freaking believable. Well, they had closing statements today. We'll see what the verdict is. Stay tuned to courttv.com. You can watch that trial live at www.courttv.com and hit watch live on the top right. 2 children, 2 dead, both watched by the grandmother. Unbelievable. I'm Corey Pegues. I always keep it right now, real. Peace.